Hello and welcome to Ian's Bricks. I'm Ian and today I've got a review of this modular building here. This is the Town Hall set 10224. This I think was released in 2012ish and it was only on shelves for a very short period of time, maybe a couple of years. It certainly retired before other sets which were older than it, so it wasn't out for very long. At the time it was the biggest of the modular buildings that had been released. I think the Assembly Square is bigger than this, but for a single building I think it's still one of the biggest, most number of bricks building, and also it's just very tall as well. You can see the spire on it here is pretty high. I've always quite liked the building, not one of my favourites, certainly not one of the worst ones, but I've rebuilt it for the first time in a long time to go in my Lego city, so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to have a look around the set again and do a review. First thing I wanted to show you then were the instruction booklets. Now you actually get three for this particular set. You get book one. Now one thing I have noticed is that they just weren't very well put together. You see how sort of tatty they look? The pages are all different sizes. Nothing particularly that I've done. I've sort of look after my books, but you can see that one of the staples is coming out, so it's just it's not brilliant. There is the back of book one, which shows the three modular buildings which are the most recent at the time. You had the Grand Emporium here, the pet shop in the middle, and the town hall. Book two is a lot thinner. That's just for the middle section here. The first book is for the bottom section, and then you have book three, which again is a slightly thicker one because it's the top section and this bit at the top as well, which almost comes in two separate pieces there. So not a lot else to really go on about there. Let's bring this forward so you can have a look at this in a little bit more detail. So as you can see, it's quite a big set, so much so that it doesn't all fit on camera. Look, so go right to the top. We've got this rather nice spire on the top. You've got the clock. You've got the 1891 even, which is brick built, and then the rest of the building at the front there. I do think it looks quite good. I think if I just sort of zoom out a little bit so you can sort of see it a little bit better. There we go. And what I will do is I'll just sort of turn the building round so you get a sort of a full overview of what the whole thing looks like. So from the side angle here, you can see we've obviously got lines for all the different layers and things. Not too much. It's fairly good actually. Not too much messiness. There's a little brick there which looks a little bit weird. One thing that I really do like at the top of the building are these two sort of plastic things here, which sort of signal, actually used by garage doors, but one thing that is very unique on this particular set is it has an elevator. We'll get more to that here, but if I just sort of show you how it looks on the back, this is the lever for the elevator, and you can move the elevator up. It's not the best, it's not seamless, it does sort of, yeah, it does catch on some of the pieces, but what you can do is you can move that there like that, and that will stop the lift at each particular floor. I'll show you the lift in a bit more detail later. These are all the minifigures. I'll just put them at the back of the set for now. I'll look at those a little bit more detail. We have a rather large ground floor. It's very tall as well. I mean, how many bricks high is that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and a bit bricks high. So it's a really high ground floor on this particular building. Again, not too much messing that up on that side either. And then back to the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the top and work my way down. Starting at the top level then, so we have obviously the spire, which is great. Now what is interesting is this does come off reasonably easily, and you can see in there we have sort of a bell. You can see all the way around each side. I think it looks all the same from all four sides. Just a plate at the bottom, and what you can do is you can actually get into here and see in. Hopefully if I spin this round, you can see we have a ladder there as well, so that the workman can get to the tower and the clock if he needs to. This is quite nice how it sort of went together really, so that's quite good. You can see the effects and the some of the pieces they've used to sort of build this all up here. And of course what was really good was how they did the 1891. It's just done with some smaller pieces on the side, and it was relatively easily fits together. I was impressed how that went together, and it looks quite good. Some of the earlier numbers that they tried to do with this Lego technique didn't turn out very well, but it looks quite good. We have a printed piece for the clock. It is fairly loose, so you can just turn it round. The whole thing just sort of moves around like that. so you can have it maybe at a different time if you wanted to set it at a different time. So it is a little bit loose, it doesn't stay in very well. Also what we have at the top, we have a little hatch here which you can open, and there are some there's a step ladder. I think that was what was down there. There we are, there's the step ladder. If I can zoom in, and what we can see as well is if we bring the lift up, the elevator, we can see that it's just literally a platform. And it's not the best. I mean, if I was a Lego figure, I'd be a little bit scared going in this lift because it doesn't look very secure, but you get the idea. Also, as I mentioned before, these two pieces here, which sort of give you a view all the way down to the bottom. You're probably not going to be able to see through there, but literally that goes all the way down to the bottom. There's a gap. And it's just sort of clever how this sort of went in and it fits together with these sort of garage doors. Very good, very good. Anyway, so let's just turn that round. I think that's pretty much it for the top floor. So we can take this off. There we go. And we can show you the top sort of main floor, as it were. So if we sort of show you a side angle view here, so we can see what I mean about the whole of the floor going all the way down to the bottom. You can see right down there we have you sort of get the idea, we sort of have open sort of balconies on each level. The top level, not a great deal going on. We have this sort of executive table thing going on here. The table looks quite good, and we have I don't like the look of these chairs. I think they're fairly poor, not very exciting, but the chair at the end looks great. And we also have a fantastic piece here, which I'm not sure it's been used in any other sets, but it's the only one that I have, and it's this globe here, and it's literally made by two sort of half circles, and they just sort of clip together and go on. It's a little bit loose, as you can see, but it does spin round. The map is a little bit odd. So if I sort of zoom into the map, you can see North America there, and we can see Europe. So we have the UK and Ireland, but no Iceland. Iceland's missing. Sorry, Iceland. We have Africa, Asia, and I think if we turn it round as well, if we sort of zoom in right to the bottom, we can see Australia, but I don't think there's New Zealand. So sorry, New Zealand, but you're not on the Lego map either. And bizarrely, they put sort of loads of massive islands in the Pacific as well, which is just really, really weird. And there's almost like an island for California, where California is. So not really sure what's going on with that, but it's nice to have it anyway. I don't think it'd be very good if you get lost in the world and needed to find your way around with this globe. But anyway, so a couple of other things we have. A couple of plants in the corner. Not a lot really else going on, to be quite honest here. What I will show you is a little bit more of the elevator. Now what I can do is actually take this out. If I unclip that, and it literally is just that. So I think it was always great. I always liked the idea they had an elevator in this particular set, but I don't think it was executed very well. I just don't think, it's not great. You sort of got this gap all the way down the side of the building here. And it does fit in, and it does move up and down reasonably well. We can see there it goes all the way down to the bottom, but it just gets stuck a little bit, and it's just not very good. I'm not a great fan of it. Anyway, that's what it looks like, and obviously for each elevator we have a door that opens and a couple of buttons on here. Never understood why there were two buttons on the top floor, because that's as high as the lift can go, and you can only go down. So normally on the top floor you only have one button to go down. So anyway, and there's no stairs in this at all, so literally it's the only way that the minifigures can get from the top floor to the bottom floor. Let's take this off then and have a look at the middle floor. There we go. So similar kind of thing going on here. We have obviously the elevator, the lift at the left hand side with the two buttons on this time, which makes more sense. We have the small balcony here. So on the left hand side of the room, we have this sort of small, I suppose, receptionist desk, as you can call it, for people that come out of the lift. And not a lot going on there. There's literally just a flower in a bottle of water and a letter and a chair, a built chair. We have the carpet here, which is quite nice, but not a great deal of excitement. We have a door which opens inwards, and that goes onto the little balcony there. That's sort of like the mayor's balcony, as it were. And then we have a very small office room on the left hand side. Obviously we have a door coming into it. And one of those horrible chairs again, don't like those at all, but a nice desk. I like the way the desk went together. We have a lamp and bizarrely a grey frog. Not sure what the grey frog's supposed to represent, but we have one anyway on the desk. Probably supposed to be a paperweight, I'm guessing. And we also have a sort of a really odd looking chair, which is very, very strange looking, but quite nice, I suppose. And we have a picture on the back wall. We also have a gap looking out onto the area at the bottom, and we can sort of maybe see that a little bit more detail here. You can see how far it goes down all the way to the bottom. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the middle floor. Let's take this off and show you the ground floor. So a bit more going on down here. As you can see, as I mentioned before, it's very, very high. So we sort of have the entrance to the building here, which you go up steps to, which is fine. So the whole of this sort of section, sort of here and here to the elevator, to the lift, is all raised up, which means that the base of the of this area here is sort of back at ground level, back at sort of zero level there. So it's quite nice, this auditorium. It's just a bit elongated for me. There's no depth to it. So you've got the 3 steps down, which are quite nice, and you sort of have these sort of raised areas here, almost sort of like a small auditorium. And then at the front, there's kind of like a speaker's desk, and there's a printed tile piece there. There's another one of those, I think, somewhere else in the building. So that's quite nice to have a little lectern there. Also, just I need to point out as well, I have used some dark grey base plates to put this on, just because it's going to go in my Lego City. I think in the instructions, I'm pretty much certain that the base plate was a tan colour. Yes, it was. So we had a 32 by 32 tan colour base plate, which I didn't mind, but I couldn't get any tan. Couldn't get any tan smaller plates, so we've gone for dark grey. It still kind of works okay. But anyway, back to this. We have a couple of lights on the side there. We have the door out, which goes out to the back. We obviously have the rest of the elevator shaft there, which you can see. Not a lot going on down there. We have the door for the elevator here. That only has one button on to go up, which makes more sense. What else do we have? There's a small waiting area there. There's sort of like a bust or a statue or something in the foyer area, and we have this rather nice check pattern floor, which is pretty good. I like how that looks. Obviously, that area then leads down to the auditorium, and then on the right hand side of the building, there's a door into another office. It's more of an admin office, I think. This one, we have some drawers, nothing in those. A small seat again, some money. There's a computer with a printed piece here for the turn that round for the keyboard, which is quite nice. An actual QWERTY keyboard. Just about make that out. A small plant in the corner, a little lamp, and that's pretty much it. One thing I think is worth showing you is the front and the back of the building. Front of the building then. So one thing I do have a little bit of a gripe about with this is the doors. So we have these 2 brick built doors. They went for those rather than just sort of the normal doors that they have, which actually look quite good. But the problem is when you try and open them, and they do open, they're a little bit stiff, is they don't open all the way. And so because of these pillars get in the way, and that's all the doors can open, which you can obviously get a minifigure through there, but it's a little bit of a tight squeeze. Dropped him on the floor. So that's my only little gripe with that, is that wasn't particularly well thought through. But I do think the entrance looks good. It looks like a town hall. I love what they did with the pillars and all this sort of ornate here. We have a couple of croissants at the top, another one of those printed shields as well, and just a rather nice sloping roof. It's a little bit loose, as you can see, but it stays in quite well. And obviously we've got the usual stuff for the modular buildings. We have the white lamppost on the right hand side, a couple of small flowers as well, and the steps are quite nice. I do like how they've done the steps as well. These were interesting how they went together. They do move around, so you can twist them round. You could have them straight on if you wanted, but the instructions said to have them side on like that, so that's how I've left them. So they were quite interesting how they went together. And then if I just show you at the back of the building, not a lot going on. We have a small hatch here that I think just leads to the dead space under the elevator. Not a lot going on there. Some plants on the back wall, the door obviously which leads into the auditorium, and a small lamp. So that's pretty much it for the building. There are 8 minifigures altogether with this set. They all have the standard plain smiley faces which the earlier modular building sets have. The first guy here I think is supposed to be the sort of the mayor, the elected person. I think he's got his briefcase ready to do some council work in his office. Grey hair, nice suit print. I do like that. Next to them we have the couple who are getting married. We have the bride and the groom all decked out in their best. Now the only thing I don't like with this is no printing or anything on this dress. It literally is just a piece. It literally is just a brick. It's like a slope brick, a roof brick. So I always think that was a bit rubbish that she didn't have any printing on there, but never mind. So we have the bride and the groom, and we also have this lady here. Now she has this camera. Here's the camera then. Quite nice. We've got the small camera piece here and just a sort of extension piece with a flash. Interesting, this piece at the bottom here with a hole in it. That's actually a gun. So they've used a gun to put that together, and another gun there on the side. So interesting use of pieces there. So we have the official photographer here. You can see she's got her pass on the front of a lapel there to tell her that she works for the council, official photographer. And next to her is sort of the secretary person. They obviously are the person that sort of helps out in the office. Strangely as well, we have 2 children in this set. Not quite sure what the significance of them is, whether they're the kids of the married couple, I don't know, but they just seem to be hanging around the town hall for no reason. The little girl looks quite good. Nice little dress, all got short leg pieces. She has a magnifying glass, and the little boy with the space Lego logo, which is fabulous. I like that, and he has a little icicle pop as well, which is good. And then we have the maintenance guy. He's got his massive Santa beard on, not sure why, but you can't really see the rest of his face. He's got a broom. Let me show you the back of all the minifigures. There's no printing on the back of any of the faces, but as you can see, some of them do have some printing on the backs of the torso. There's no printing on the legs at all. So this guy here just has a stripe here. We have the back of the wedding dress. This guy has nothing. This lady here, she's obviously got looks like a corset. I mean, it's a little bit tight, but never mind. That has nothing. The little girl, I've just raised her hair up so you can see. It's quite a nice little bow on the back of that torso, and then nothing on the other 2. So let's do an overview then. There we have it then. So an enjoyable build, as all modular buildings are. As I say, I don't really have any modular building that I really hate. It's certainly not one of the better ones, just because I just think it just feels a bit bland. There's something sort of missing. I don't think the lift was great. When I first heard there was a lift in the set, I'm like, yeah, a lift, but I don't think they did the elevator lift particularly well in this set. It's okay, but it's not great. And also the auditorium, it could have been a lot better as well. So there's a few little niggles with what's inside. I do like the fact you get a lot of minifigures, and also what I do like is the size of the building. I think sometimes when you buy these modulars, you get to the upper floors and they're really small and pokey inside. There's not a lot of space going on. So it's nice that this particular modular is quite big on all the floors. It goes all the way to the top, and of course it's really, really high as well. And I think as a town hall, it does look like a town hall. Yeah, the bricks are this sort of dark browny sort of red colour, but you know, I think it works quite well, and it does generally, I think, look like a sort of an official building that any town should have. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. It was nice for me to build this set again after a few years in pieces. Please like and comment if you haven't already. Thank you as always to all of my subscribers. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.